Relaxers don't only cause scalp burns, chronic inflammation, and scalp irritation. They can contribute to a variety of other health issues. These health issues include respiratory problems, allergic reactions, difficulty conceiving, as well as cancers. In today's video, I will be diving into most of the health problems that relaxers contribute to. At the age of 11, I had to attend a different school. And so I was told that my hair was difficult to work with, my hair was too hard, it would take long for me to prepare for school. So relaxers were the best option. But the problem was, every time I applied relaxer to my hair, I suffered scalp burns, especially to my edges. So my hairline became weak. My hair as well became fragile. It was so brittle that it would break off. I had no idea I was causing so much harm to myself. Even after discontinuing relaxers for over 10 years, my hairline is still a bit weak. So I can't apply any tension to my edges. I can't install weaves because when I remove the weaves, my edges will come out along with the weave. And even though I use herbal remedies which help to strengthen my hair and to regrow my hair, herbs can't repair the damage that I was causing for more than 10 years. So in this video, I would like to expound upon some of the dangers of hair relaxers. So the first thing I want to talk about is a study that was recently done. It's a study that was done online between 2014 and 2022. The purpose of this study was to evaluate the link between using hair relaxers and the ability to get pregnant during a menstrual cycle, which is called fecundability. A total of 11,274 individuals participated in this study. So apparently it was done online. And the first part of the study was to do a questionnaire. So after the first questionnaire, there were follow-up questionnaires that were done every 8 weeks for 12 months or until that individual became pregnant. The study concluded that individuals who currently use hair relaxers, their possibility of getting pregnant reduced by 19% compared to those who never use relaxers. Not only that, individuals who previously used relaxers, their ability to conceive was reduced by 11% compared to those who never used relaxers. Now, those individuals who started to use relaxers before age 10, as well as who use it for a long period and frequently, their ability to conceive was also reduced compared to those who did not use relaxers. Now, hair relaxers are used by millions worldwide for its ability to straighten the hair and to reduce frizz. However, reproduction is not the only problem. There are several other potential health risks as well as allergic reactions associated with the ingredients of these chemicals. Potential health risks vary from person to person. It all depends on the frequency of use, the strength of the chemical, as well as the individual's sensitivity to the irritants in these chemicals. Some of the known and suspected dangers include scalp irritation and burns. Now this will depend on how long you leave the hair relaxer on your scalp. It will also depend on if your scalp has cuts and abrasions. Repeated scalp burns from chemical relaxers can result in damage to your hair follicles to the point where your hair follicle will no longer be able to produce hair. There are several mechanisms behind this. Let's look first at chemical trauma. So harsh ingredients in your hair relaxers, they tend to cause acute trauma to your hair follicles as well as your scalp. So the harsh ingredient, for example, lye, which is a caustic solution, as well as strong alkaline products, they tend to break down the protein of your hair as well as cause damage to your delicate tissues. Scarring and fibrosis. Now, when you suffer repeated severe burns to your scalp, the hair follicles will die. So what happens? Instead of normal tissue replacing your hair follicles will be replaced by scar tissue. As long as your hair follicles are replaced with scar tissue, they will not be able to produce hair any longer. So this will be one of the major causes of permanent hair loss. Inflammation. Recurrent burns to your scalp will trigger the inflammatory response. Chronic inflammation results in something called telogen effluvium. Now, telogen effluvium is a condition where your hair falls out faster than it is supposed to. Chronic inflammation can also lead to permanent hair loss. Now let's talk about follicular miniaturization. Now this condition is mostly associated with pattern hair loss. However, consistent burns to your scalp and triggering of the inflammatory process can cause your hair follicles to become smaller. Smaller hair follicles tend to produce finer or thinner and shorter hair strands, and this process will continue until that hair follicle stops producing hair altogether. Disruption of blood supply. Hair relaxers can damage your blood vessels. Damaged blood vessels will lead to decreased nutrients to your hair follicles as well as oxygen. And it goes without saying that as long as your hair follicles do not have nutrients and oxygen, they will not be able to produce hair. Hair damage and breakage. Prolonged use of chemical relaxers will result in damage of your hair shaft. This will lead to your hair becoming more dry, more brittle, and more prone to breakage. So over time, this can lead to significant hair damage. Allergic reactions. Some individuals can experience reactions to some of the chemicals in these products. Some signs of allergic reaction can include itching, redness, and even swelling to the areas of the scalp. Also, if any other part of your body comes in contact with these chemicals, you can experience allergic reactions in those areas. Exposure to hazardous chemicals. So some of these hair relaxers can contain very potent ingredients, for example, lye, formaldehyde, as well as other harmful substances. These substances can cause skin irritation, and with prolonged exposure can have other harmful impacts. Let's talk a little bit more about formaldehydes. In hair relaxers, this is a substance that helps to preserve the product as well as strengthen it. So formaldehyde is a known carcinogen. This is basically a cancer-causing agent. Prolonged exposure to formaldehyde fumes can lead to a variety of illnesses. For example, respiratory problems, skin irritation, and potentially an increased risk of cancer, particularly nasopharyngeal cancer and leukemia. And the risks are higher in salon environments where there is poor ventilation. Lye is a strong alkali and a caustic substance that is found in several hair relaxers. Essentially, it breaks down the disulfide bonds in the keratin of your hair, and that's what makes your hair straighter. So as I said before, lye is a caustic substance. Therefore, it can cause severe burns when it gets in contact with your eyes or your skin. Lye can also damage your hair shaft, leading to breakage and hair loss. Prolonged or repeated exposure can lead to chronic scalp conditions. Lye can also cause repeated chemical burns to your scalp. And this will lead to permanent damage to your scalp tissue. Prolonged exposure to light can also result in contact dermatitis, folliculitis, seborrheic dermatitis, scalp psoriasis, telogen effluvium, scarring alopecia, traction alopecia, scalp acne, and many other problems. There are other harsh ingredients in hair relaxers. For example, parabens, phthalates, silicones, and sulfates. These substances can vary in their potential health impacts. Skin and hair impact. These substances can cause irritation to your skin, allergic reactions, as well as they can disrupt your endocrine function. For example, phthalates are known endocrine disruptors. Environmental concerns. Many of these substances can cause harm to our environment, disrupt aquatic life, and environmental pollution. Respiratory issues. Now, if you have a pre-existing respiratory condition, please remember you're more susceptible to respiratory irritation and distress. Hormonal disruption and fertility issues. As I mentioned before, some of the ingredients in hair relaxers can disrupt your hormonal function. Now, your hormones form part of your endocrine system because they're produced by your endocrine glands. Your hormones are chemical messengers and they travel through your bloodstream to carry out various functions in the body. They regulate your growth, your development, your metabolism, which is breaking down your food into energy, as well as your reproduction and your mood. So some of these harmful substances in hair relaxers will either block your hormones from functioning adequately, or they can pretend to be your hormones. So they will end up producing more hormones in your body, and this will cause your body to be thrown off balance. It is something that you don't want to happen. Another problem is that these substances can also the production, the transportation, the breakdown, and even the elimination of hormones. So the potential health effects are reproductive issues, developmental problems, neurological and immune challenges, and even an increased risk of cancer. So while more study is needed, some studies have already suspected that several chemicals in your hair relaxers can lead to breast cancer. And let's not forget the particular health impact on children that chemical relaxers can have. The use of chemical relaxers in children can be particularly concerning due to the sensitivity of their skin and the potential impact on their developing bodies. So, remember, the extent and likelihood of health issues from using hair relaxers will depend on several factors. The strength and type of chemical found in the relaxer, prolonged exposure, as well as your sensitivity to these products. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, I've used chemical relaxers for a very long time and I've had no problems. My hair is strong, my hair is growing longer. But for those who have very fine strands, chemical relaxers can be very harmful to your hair strands. As I said in one of my videos earlier, if your strands are thicker, they will be more resilient. However, you should consider that even if your hair is not affected, you may be affecting your inside. Now we're at the end of the video and I still have a giveaway. So soon I will be announcing the winners. So please continue to check that video in the comment section. I hope you found this video informative and I trust that you will take necessary actions to become a better, healthier version of yourself. Continue to nourish your strands, give it all the love and care in the world. And until next time, remember, your self-care journey starts now.